You are listening to a special edition of the Collective Podcast Agreement. I am your host, Juan T. This is Navajo by Masego. Feel this, baby.
I know you see it, girl. This ain't sitting real good to my soul. Everywhere this little girl goes, she pick up another obstacle. She was my heart. I don't know the tribe or default, but by default, she don't think of me. I thought she was an Indian. She be slanging things like a simian. All my life I wanted me an Indian. And now she's far away, but I had to know. Listen, I know you see it, girl. This ain't sitting real good to my soul. Everywhere this little girl goes,
If y'all could see the face I'm making right now, after hearing that, you think I'm sitting on the toilet. Hey, y'all. It's been a long time. It's been a really long time. Actually got a special episode for you guys today. So as promised, I promised you something big, and it doesn't get any bigger than this. We're bringing the gang back. We have in the studio Nabil Rabadi.
Your real host, Nabil Rabadi. Hey, how's it going?
Cheer. The Magic Man, Mr. Neil himself.
Magic.
What's going on, guys?
And ZJ.
Thanks for having us, man. We appreciate it, brother.
Where are we at right now?
God. You know what? I think we're on location at
What?
the Boom Boom Room.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, my
We're
God.
back, ladies and gentlemen.
In the Boom
We're
Boom
back.
Room. And they have
In the Boombies.
upgraded the hell out of the Boom Boom Room.
Did I just hear ZJ say the Boombies?
The Boombies. It's the Boombies. Guys, so I'm glad everybody is kind of back in the house. We have a great show. A few things we're going to recap what we called the UT Spring Game, as well as the reason why all of these fine gentlemen are here today. For those who don't know, Thursday is the NFL Draft. The show has basically, we talk a lot of UT sports and we high level a lot of the NFL highlights, but I feel like this is absolutely a must-have conversation. For one reason, there are a lot of Longhorns coming into this draft, but two, who doesn't love the draft? Who doesn't? Like, who, honestly, ZJ doesn't love the draft?
I don't want to start off a bad note, but to tie both major segments today with UT and the draft, was last year the first year that no Longhorns were drafted?
No.
Was
We
that-
had
was that the year before?
The year before.
Year before.
We had someone last year before.
Foreman.
We did not. Yeah, we had a few. We had
Foreman and somebody else.
Puna Ford, not Puna Ford.
Puna
Puna
Ford's
Ford
this
this
year.
year. Malcolm Brown.
No, he was like
That
3 or
was-
4 years ago. He was drafted in the second round for the Patriots.
Somebody, was it a wide receiver? I think it was a wide receiver late to. He was in the Super Bowl
For Philly?
Yes.
Philly drafts a lot of UT
It was
players.
Philly.
They make use of them.
Yeah.
I think there was a UT player that murdered Romo's career.
Oh, I'm positive of that.
Yep.
I'm very positive of that.
Ripped his collarbone in half.
Anything negative about Dallas? I remember. So, if we can, guys, let's start it back old school. Let's go around the horn. Nabil, what's new?
Nothing much, man. Just living life.
Neil, what's
Wow,
new?
okay.
What's going on with Neil?
Hey, it's just a great day to be back up here.
Can I just last out back to me about I've had such a long adventure and a journey.
Nabil,
don't
go
come-
ahead.
okay.
Nabil
Go
finally
ahead.
found
No,
himself.
guys, let's all sit back and question what Nabil's done.
He's still looking.
He's still looking for himself,
still
actually.
I gotta go home, guys. I'm sorry. I'll see you later.
You need to go home.
I can't
All right,
do this
Tell me, what's new? What's good?
No, nothing
What's
much,
shaking?
man. I was just kidding. Just living life, enjoying every day, living it up, man.
Heck yeah. Zeech? What's popping with you, mate?
Not much, man. I feel
Nothing
like,
much.
I feel
Not
like
like a child much.
every single time you ask somebody, what's going on? Oh, nothing, not much.
Guys, I'm going to let y'all know something here. For those who followed the CPA for a while, ZJ's holding back right now. ZJ's preggers.
Yeah. And here's the worst part. If your wife was here, I really would.
Yes, I am having a baby, guys. I'm going to be a pop.
Yeah, but it's really nothing much.
My wife is 6 months, very pregnant. We're still got a long
That
ways
oven's
to go.
cooking. It's slow roasting.
Yes.
They want to make sure this thing's done right.
Don't know the sex. Don't know
I was just
anything.
going to ask if you knew that or not.
We are going to wait until...
Yeah, he didn't know how he had sex to get this baby.
You know, somebody told me how they were made. I didn't believe them. But
Him and the doctor had a good one-on-one session. Like, you kind of walk me through the process.
now I know.
A lot of how-to books.
Yeah.
This is how babies.
YouTube really helps out, by the way.
I've heard that with babies.
Howcast.
Yeah.
Howcast.
Yeah, just, it's a baby thing.
No, I was just going to say, wait till they're a teenager, especially if it's a boy. You don't have any money left. They eat you
All the dollars. All the dollars.
Oh, man.
Literally. 2 teenagers. You need a whole
How many
chicken and a
seasons?
pizza.
How many seasons have you been doing this for, Neil? How many years have you been a veteran of this?
How many seasons did you relate it to us?
Yeah. DJ's going into his rookie year. He just did his combine.
How many Pro Bowls are you in?
Let's see. 14 Pro Bowls on the oldest one, and
Wow.
13 Pro Bowls for the youngest one.
Yeah.
Now,
Take notes.
Now,
Take notes,
would
DJ.
we consider DJ a bust after seeing his combine results?
Yeah, probably. I did not hit the 29.
Well, you know what? We want to know how you've been. We haven't talked to you
what's going
since.
on, Juan?
Apparently, nothing happens outside of this show stopping. So.
Really? I mean, I haven't seen any of you guys since our last show
None of
together.
the people, we don't have eyes.
Yeah, we can't see. We don't have eyeball. No, man. Life's just moving forward pretty fast.
Cool, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
Garbage ass.
On my own show.
I miss you guys so much, man. It feels good to be
I
back
miss
on
this. This is awesome.
on the
I'm
podcast.
excited to be
Fantastic.
here. I'm excited to be here.
So we touched on this in our pre-show talks, and I want to kind of designate time to this. ZJ, you learned how to read, and you read a book.
Oh yeah.
I did. Yeah, guys. So real quick, this is I learned a little bit. I learned a little bit, and I didn't learn a little bit. We're coming up on the anniversary of Aaron Hernandez's death, which I'm not like by any means like glorifying Aaron Hernandez or anything like that. But James Patterson, if y'all don't know who James Patterson is, y'all must live under a rock, because he's written hundreds (parentheses S) of books, and very few does he do like real true life crime. This is like one of like 3 or 4 that he's done, and it's of the Aaron Hernandez case. I read the book. It reads like a Dateline episode. It's just like it's basically like an NBC Dateline episode script, and I really didn't learn much actually from the book. It just tells you what happens, but you still don't know exactly why.
Okay.
Is the whole issue?
Dude. Honestly, that was so a waste of our time to hear.
That's pretty lame.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was kind of worthless to hear.
So there's like 2 main
Oh
reasons.
shit, there's more. Okay, go on.
yeah.
I thought he was done.
No, it's super interesting, man. It's like the guy who had everything. But basically, long story short, I'll save you a read. You can take
Spoiler alert. Sorry. Spoiler alert. You gotta say spoiler alert.
You can take Aaron Hernandez out of the hood, but you can't take the hood out of Aaron Hernandez.
I do have a question.
man.
Did they have any insight as to why he killed himself?
Not necessarily. He was kind of obviously a well-known figure in prison,
Sure.
and he was kind of like
It just
popular,
weirds me
so
out
to
because he
speak.
looks like the kind of guy that didn't really give a shit.
Yeah.
That he killed
Yeah.
someone or had guilt about it. Like,
And you would think like being famous in prison kind of makes it like not that bad to be in prison.
no, I just
No.
And you're not like known for like, oh my God, you've killed 100. Like, no, man, you're freaking
You're Aaron Hernandez. Man, you won a Super Bowl, bro.
nobody's touching this man. You know?
Yeah.
But no, there's no real reason.
So you wouldn't
Anyway.
really recommend his book?
It made me think when he killed himself, he really thought he was going to get out. Because, I mean, he was fine.
Oh, yeah.
Bragged about the fact he could do the time in prison. And then it gets handed down that he is not getting out. And then he kills himself, which, I mean, that's the first thing I
He
thought.
thought he was going to get out?
I think
Yeah.
I think he really did. I think he thought he was going to find a way to get out.
Because I think
Yeah.
he believed that there wasn't enough evidence. Because that was kind of the big deal with that case for a period of time, that there wasn't enough to stick to him. The only thing they had was that video of him holding that gun on his own
Right.
security camera.
Sure.
But it didn't really prove anything.
You think it's one of those things where the media took such a hold of it in the headlines that it may have swayed the
yeah. I
those
mean,
who were judging him.
I feel like that it's. I don't know how you find a jury for something that popular, like that didn't know anything about it. Because I mean, even while you're doing this, they tell you, don't look into it, don't research into it. But I mean, Jesus Christ, it was on everything. It was on CNN. It was on, for those who watch sport. Like, it's hard for you to not
borderline OJ case popular, but not with race involved. But
now the other side of that is too. There wasn't just the one. I mean, they had evidence on like 3 or 4 more murders.
Yeah.
I mean, if the one failed, they were coming back with more.
Hernandez be out there killing folks,
and that was the thing. So one of like the main reasons as to why is apparently rumor had it that Aaron Hernandez was gay and had a thing for one of his friend dudes, and he like kind of threatened to go public with it, and apparently killed that guy, Odin Lloyd. But Odin Lloyd was also present at some of the previous quote unquote murders that had basically, like he could rat him out and
he just killed the man.
Yeah, that's
the guy who knew
everything.
Yeah, thought he could get away with it.
Actually.
Yeah. So that didn't go well.
Those are the two main things I got from it. But it was just really interesting because James Patterson, like I said, has written hundreds of books.
Are they all like crime books? Or?
Yeah, they're all like not true crime, but kind of like what's the Bourne Identity type.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Jack
Fiction.
Jack, what's
Jack
his name?
Reaper?
Jack Reacher.
Yeah, that style of books you write, but he's done like only 3 or 4 like true real life ones, and it just came out a few weeks ago. I picked it up. Quick read.
What's the name of the book again?
It is called American Murder: The Aaron Hernandez Story.
I like how you pulled that one.
Excuse me, All American Murder.
Oh wow!
Okay. Now we have.
But
so you're so interested in this, I can't remember the name.
They also talk about. I'm sorry to keep going on about it, but they talk with Tim Tebow about it. He's quoted in the book.
Cool.
Yeah.
And Urban Meyer when he was with Florida, so they bring back a bunch of those old guys.
Yeah.
Did you remember the rest of the book title, by the way?
Robert Kraft.
That's cool. They get him in a quote in that.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
All American Murder. Aaron Hernandez.
Check that one out, guys.
Tom's Anatomy and 92010.
Yeah.
Before we get too further into the show, we have something that we've never had on the show before. Cake.
What?
We don't have cake. So what we do have is we actually have sponsors.
All right.
A couple of sponsors. Okay.
I feel like I want to know these people.
You might. You might. So one's a delicious delicacy that titillates the taste buds in a way that no one else will. Mm-hmm. And you're wondering, and you're asking yourself, where can I get these tasting, scrumptious morsels? That would be Dulce Terra Bakery by very own Gina Puccio.
She makes such amazing pastries, cupcakes, cakes.
Everything.
They're amazing.
And they're gluten-free. She does gluten-free options. She does all organic.
If you go to her Instagram, it's like amazing eye candy. It's Dolce Terra, or it's Dolce.Terra. It's one of the two. But Dolce Terra. And Gina does an amazing job. She had extra cupcakes for a goat party. You heard it right. We live in Austin, Texas.
Goat.
For a goat party. And man, these cupcakes were amazing.
She actually used goat milk in the buttercream frosting on top of the cupcake.
It tasted great.
It was fantastic. And if you're wondering, where can you go like as soon as possible to get these? And if you don't have Gina's information, well, you can go find her at the Green Gate Farm Stand from 10 till 2, first Saturday of every month. And at the Mueller Farm Market, same time, 10 to 2 on Sundays. So if you're curious, again, that is Green Gate Farm Stand on the first Saturday of every month, and Mueller Farm Market first Sunday of every month at 10 to 2.
I'm a little depressed right now because I was just going to get up to go get some.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I wish they were here.
Great things come to those who wait.
Yep.
So
yeah, well, now I'm hungry, so
we'll go to Dulce Terra Instagram.
Dolce. Fantastic name.
Now, our second one is another good friend of ours who works currently at Dell, but he has a very interesting blog or drinking blog, if you will. A side venture. if you will, called Drinking Texas. And what's so really awesome about this man, a good friend of ours, Chip. What is Chip's last name?
Ray.
Chip Ray.
It's Chip Ray.
Chip
that
Ray.
easy, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Look at that.
He's one of your sponsors. You can't remember his whole name. I love you, Chip.
Chip's good people,
he
man.
gives
I like
me a
Chip.
hug every day at work, and it's the best hug I've ever had.
Chip used to give me a kiss. Now what?
He gives me kisses too, so.
Now I'm jealous. Okay.
Thank
I'm
you.
jealous.
That could have gone a lot further. I'm glad y'all
I
didn't.
decided to stop there because what else he used to do to me will take off the air.
I'll be honest with you. He has kissed me from time to time. And here's the thing, I'm okay with it. Chip is an amazing person.
Yeah, I lied. Chip never kissed me, so
What?
that's
Okay. Wow.
that is weird.
Oh, God, Mom.
But what's really cool with Chip and why I wanted to bring it up is Chip is actually traveling the state of Texas and going to these hole in the wall. There's a joke that I'm gonna tell after this. There's hole in the wall bars that are like, they have a little history and they have a little culture to them, and it's really bringing out kind of the pride of Texas. And he does interviews with the bartenders and kind of gets their story behind it. So if you're curious and you want to learn more and you're just interested one day, hey, I'm in the middle of nowhere and I want to get a drink somewhere, I promise you, if you go to Drinking Texas on his Facebook page, you will actually find a bar probably near you, or somewhere that's worth getting lost on a weekend, going to check out. Now that leads me to this joke that
I think it's, if you want to look for it, it's Drinking TX.
Are you sure? I could have sworn it's Drinking Texas on Facebook.
I'll double check it, but go on.
Yeah, it's Drinking Texas. DJ got to pull it.
Okay, cool.
Yep, Drinking
Perfect.
Texas on Facebook. So, interesting story. This was several weeks ago. We're at a crawfish boil, and Bill's with us, and somebody asked about Drinking Texas, and Bill's telling the story. He's like, "Yeah, he goes to these different bars and da da da." And I interject, and I was like, "Man, every weekend Chip has to drive around and go to different bars and drink. That's gotta suck." And Nabil, full-heartedly, meaning every word, looks me in the face and say, "No, I really think he likes it." And I was like, "You're an idiot." It was sarcasm. Of course he likes it. It's the greatest job in the world. Why would you not want to do this? And we've never let him live this thing down.
I couldn't even play it off in a cool way.
No.
Like, oh yeah, no, I know, I was part of that. Nope, I didn't. I meant it.
He meant
you
it.
could see the innocence in my eyes when I said,
Oh, yeah.
he
It was
really,
pure.
no, come on, what? He really likes it.
No, I mean, it's a passion of his. Don't talk bad about it.
What an idiot.
Complete idiot. All right, guys. So Saturday was the UT Spring Game. Orange and white.
Did it rain?
Did not rain. It
That's
rained
crazy.
it drizzled that morning, but it was actually perfect by the time the game started. So
Yeah.
I could have went and I didn't. I chose to stay at home and watch it on TV. Here's my take on it. It looked exactly how we ended the season last year. To be just brutally honest, to just call it what it is. What did we know at the end of last season?
So wait, are you essentially saying that we haven't progressed?
I'm saying that we are realistically looking at 4 months removed from our last game.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's what I'm saying.
But I mean, in sports talk, 4 months in an off season is.
We haven't had an offseason yet. Well, we've just had spring practice. We've had 15 practices
Oh, I see.
since the last time those boys
So we
have
look
suited up.
inconsistent and young still.
Are we still a 6-6, 7-6 team?
I feel here's what I say if I had to put money to say what got better. Our defense looks insane. Our defense in the spring game almost looked purposely held back.
Wow.
Because there were moments when, and I'll pinpoint out Brecken Hager. Brecken Hager will
I
be
love that guy.
an absolute animal
I love that guy.
moving forward. Like there is no doubt in my mind that Brecken Hager isn't going to kill somebody next year. Like he'll kill someone. There was.
What, is he a junior or a senior?
He's a senior next year.
Oh,
He'll be
senior
a full-blown
next year.
senior, and this dude looks like a man.
Yeah.
If you haven't, pull up a photo of Brecken Hager
Yep.
at spring practice. I think he put on.
He looks like an Avenger.
I think he's put on another 20 pounds. Just huge, just brolic looking
Yeah.
individual. And there were moments in that game where Tom Herman had to go to the refs and tell him, hey, blow the whistle a little earlier before Brecken Hager kills our quarterback. Because there were times he forgot that he's not supposed to hit the quarterback, and he just wraps him up every time.
How would you say, like, outside of Breckenhager, how would you say the rest of the D-line looked, linebacking, cornerbacks?
Looked great. So Malcolm Roach.
The cornerbacks, I think, have a little bit of a hole to fill.
And they have filled it. So this is why I say we look like we did when we ended the season, because what we knew about our football team at the end of last season, our defense could win us games.
Giving us a ton of opportunities. The D-line was figuring things out, and you can tell now where we have enough solid pieces on that defensive line, when put together in the right pieces, will dominate. Breckenhager should never come off the field. He should start every snap possible.
Whoa.
Malcolm Roach, what you got?
I'm just reading some stats. Last year, Breckenhager was about 225, 230.
Yeah.
6'3". Reportedly is weighing around 270.
Yeah, he's pro ready.
That is literally from all counts. He's pro ready right now.
A lot of red meat.
He looks like
if he shows up at the combine, has a good year. I don't know how many sacks he got last year. I think it was like 9.
First rounder.
If he shows up at the combine, absolutely.
I mean,
I don't see him like he's a Bradley Chubb, but I see him as being really good.
The dude's nice. I will say that. I mean, there's very little that you could look at him and say you need to learn to do better.
If at 225 he was as strong of an anchor as he was on that end, playing as a left end, which you're playing against a right tackle. Right tackles are usually the sloppier, stronger guys, and you're holding that anchor down really well. I mean, imagine how much stronger you are at 260 versus 225, and you were playing left end last year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's scary. That's
I had
awesome.
to, and looking at Breckenhager's gameplay from that game, if I had to literally find anything to just nitpick at all, it would be the thing he'd need to work on in this offseason is getting off a double team.
Sure.
But I feel like that's the case
probably
with
where he put in
anybody.
the weight.
Yeah.
That's probably where he put in the weight.
Because the instances where we had, oh my God, I'm drawing a blank on the guy's name, Leto, the tight end, who's been redshirted and had kind of all these problems coming in. But when he got on the line and helped on that end to block him, almost shut him down immediately.
Yeah, that's the thing with him. He seemed like he would want to get upfield so badly that he gets a little lost.
Yeah.
But what were you gonna say?
Side note: so you were at the game physically, right?
No.
Oh, you were not.
I just watched it.
You're watching it.
Yeah.
I was going to comment on Mac Brown not memorizing anybody's name.
Oh, he was so bad, dude. He was so bad.
It was hilarious.
Any other key standouts from the defensive?
Yes.
Defense side?
A few things that one that stood out is one that we will be. I feel before his time is done at UT, he will be a household name. BJ Foster is going to be. I'm gonna call it. He will be better than Earl Thomas at the state of Texas. Like,
wow,
in any position they put him in, he will be that damn electric. So there was one particular play, and I'll give props when props are due on the offense side of the ball. Colin Johnson, 6'6", grown man, needs to be the starting one. Like he's earned that just from what I've seen in practice as well as from the spring game, but. There was a pass that went down the sideline that it was one-on-one coverage with I think it was Chris Boyd. I don't remember what corner it was on him, didn't matter because he had him beat from the outside hash mark. BJ Foster closed in on this thing, almost picked this thing one-handedly. If it wasn't for Colin Johnson's awareness and like knocking it out of his hand, BJ Foster would have had this pick very easily from one hand and made it look easy. The boy was all over the field. If there was a tackle that was made, BJ Foster was either helping in that tackle or was in the picture every single time.
He's a real. So I'm just looking him up. He was a 5-star recruit, 6'1", 205 pounds.
Absolute goon.
And he's a junior. That is
goon.
Wow.
Our guys have grown up. I mean, I know it's just 1 year, but I like hearing there's a lot of juniors and seniors.
You know, no. He was a junior he's a
junior now.
Wait, BJ Foster? No. BJ Foster is a true freshman.
Class of 2018. Got it.
Yeah, true freshman. He's gray shirted in.
Got it.
That's what it is. But I mean, we have so many freshmen that came in. What we loaded up in our secondary by being able to snag, I think it was 6 of the top 10 DBs in the nation.
Yep.
We've got physical DBs. Sure. We have DBs that love to press and man up.
Yep.
And they show that in this spring game.
Yeah.
Now, I've talked a lot already about defense. Let's move to the offense. Neither quarterback showed any sign at all of being like designated the number one.
Let me ask you this question: Is it simply because maybe our O-line was downgraded a little bit. You lose Connor Williams. I mean, they weren't the best last year. And if you're not giving any quarterback any time or any receivers really getting open, every quarterback's going to look bad.
I'll say this.
They wouldn't tell the difference between me and Drew Brees.
I'd say take the spring game with a grain of salt.
Sure.
Only because of how the format was set up. You had the orange team that was a mixture of first and second string guys, and you had the white that was the same deal. Play each other like it was a real game. They didn't do like some spring games do like these point systems for this and that. No, they played it true up. Two quarterbacks split, and that's how it was set up. But we don't have the depth at offensive line to do that. So the offensive line played the entire game. They played. They got no rest. As soon as there was a turnover or a switch, they're back out there. So you could tell come middle of the second quarter, there was some fatigue setting in. Guys are just getting lazy. They're not keeping their hands up. And that's because they've been playing a whole game basically already by the end of the second.
Okay, fine. Was there any shining spot that you saw with any of these quarterbacks? Would you say, God, who was that young kid again? What's his name?
Shane Bichelle, Sam Ehlinger.
Would you say his instincts got better? Does he have a better pocket presence? I mean,
his release has gotten better. I think that's one thing that they noted that they have been working on.
He's
getting the ball out faster. I'd say both quarterbacks are doing a better job of that.
Is he just doing that because he's scared, or because he sees something, or what's the deal?
No, I think it really is. They've just got him training to get that out quicker. You see it, boom. Yeah, but
Sam Ehlinger is not going to be our best running back this next year.
Quarterback?
I don't think.
Yeah, no, I see the point.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was a scrambler all year last year. Got his shit messed up.
And I'd say this: Sam Ehlinger still has not figured out how to throw an accurate deep ball.
Okay, here's the question: would you accept the kid from Bama if he wanted to transfer to UT after seeing the
freshman dude,
Hurst or whatever, Jalen Hurst?
Yeah.
Oh,
wait, he's a junior?
Yeah, I would not. Okay. And here's why I'd say no, for a few reasons. One, Cade Brewer, the true freshman, the gray shirt guy who came in, there's the future quarterback of Texas football. The kid, from his first snap, showed phenomenal pocket awareness, pocket presence. The kid can scramble out of the pocket, keep his head downfield, look for a play that's open, and complete an accurate pass.
Yeah.
Which is something that if we could combine Shane Buechele and Sam Ehlinger into one guy, Cade Brewer's the guy.
How did the running back situation, wide receiver situation, and the O-line situation, actually we can't talk about that.
Because I'll get to that, but to answer the question about Jalen Hurts, is the timing of him coming in wouldn't make sense.
Okay.
So if he goes to transfer, he's going to make that decision maybe this summer. Okay. So if he does come in, he's going to have to sit. So he's going to sit all next year, and now you're bringing a fifth quarterback to come in and try to compete for a starting job. Let's realize, yes, Jalen Hurts might be pretty good at Bama. You're not good enough to keep the starting job at Bama. So now we're inheriting another guy who can't win a starting job. Throw him in the mix of two other quarterbacks who hasn't won a starting job yet, with two freshmen fighting for a starting job. Let's add a fifth to make things that much. Like, I know as a coach would love to have that kind of a problem.
Yeah.
But it's a problem. Like, this isn't one of those, like, man, we just have too many great players playing. Like, no. We have a stable of two average quarterbacks, an average quarterback looking to start somewhere else, and two hungry young quarterbacks who are now going to fight all of these guys for position, not even counting the other guys that never touched the field at quarterback that aren't scholarshiped in. So I don't see it as being...
You should be bringing another kind of okay guy.
Yeah, I would. If I'm Tom Herman, after seeing what I saw in Cade Brewer, I would rather just let this play out.
Yeah.
If I can keep Shane and Sam here competing, because... The way they both get injured, we're going to need them both this season.
Yeah.
So if we can keep both guys here and not lose Shane because he didn't start, and now let Cade Brewer sit, truly redshirt, learn the playbook, and when he comes out as a redshirt freshman, now you can compete against these guys and possibly steal the starting role. Or maybe not. Maybe you might just still sit and be a backup because we'll lose Shane that year after.
Got it.
And then now we got a guy who's baked and ready to go. We need that at Texas.
Okay.
Well, Brady, say, I think the thing with Jalen Hurts that you run into is if he has to have a phenomenal running game for him to even work. I mean, you think about
That's right.
in Alabama,
Bama is a
his
pro
accuracy's
style.
shaky. He's not real good with decisions. I mean, we're talking about a guy that throws for 100 and some yards a game. That's it.
Yeah.
They run the ball down your throat. I mean, he needs a Ohio State or something like
I
that.
guess the point comes down to is what Bama quarterback's ever come to the NFL and has been lit up the world.
So
Doesn't exist.
Doesn't.
I see what you're saying. I think Hurts definitely got them to the national championship, but Tagovailoa, the freshman, won them the national championship.
Sure.
Would y'all take Tagovailoa, bright-eyed, going to be a sophomore?
I would if he'd leave, but he ain't going nowhere.
Nah, man, he's on the biggest.
Yeah, Saban's going to make sure to marry that man.
Yeah.
He ain't going nowhere. But in your running game, you touched on it earlier. Yeah, it's hard to say about that running game.
Which goes hand in hand with the O-line, I guess.
Goes in hand with the O-line, but there was nothing that shocked you. Like there was nothing even. There was a few decent breakout runs, and I say breakout runs by like maybe 8 yards. I just feel, and even I think the coaching staff and how they're approaching recruiting currently, there isn't a single person kind of on that running back stable that excites them yet. I think Tennille Carter, who is the cat coming in. No, not Tennille Carter's coming. There's what is the guy's name?
Daniel Young.
No. We signed him. He's a rookie. Signed him. He signed his letter of intent. Who's coming in, and I just can't think of his name.
I think until you think of his name.
Tristan Houston.
Nope.
So until you think of his
figure it
name,
out. But
but my point to that running back situation is it's the same as a lineman where if your name isn't being said negatively, I think you're fine. I guess at this point, especially if it's a spring game, if they're doing their job well enough and having an all around, I don't know, being able to block, pass, catching the passing game, being able to see some holes, break some runs, good. But if you can't, that's the problem.
Yeah, and I mean with Texas, I think that's where they have not found that guy yet, and they're still out recruiting JUCO players.
Yeah,
and telling them, and even the freshmen, I mean the seniors in high school that they're going to recruit now, and telling them, no, it's still open. It's still wide open for somebody to come and take it.
Now with this incoming class for 2018, was there any good 4 or 5 star O-line recruits that you guys
I thought there was 1 or 2.
Here's not in the freshman class coming in. Where we did get was I think we got the nation's top JUCO offensive lineman coming out of Rice.
Okay.
And it was a tough grab because it was between us, I think Oklahoma, and someone, Stanford also. And here's a very interesting thing, and why you don't hear too often with Texas about exciting like top JUCOs coming in. Texas is extremely hard to get into as a grad student.
Yeah.
And they don't. It's even harder because you're an athlete to find somebody of that caliber to come in. So for this kid to make it, it's huge. He is literally the best possible athlete that we could have grabbed, and that he's baked and ready to go. Great size, great footwork from Rice.
He's able to step in and make smooth transition.
Exactly. He's going to be able to come in and probably start day one, which is exactly what we need. So that's another reason when you look at this offensive line in the spring game and say we can't really judge it, all the pieces aren't here yet. Now, we picked up some guys in recruiting, but none of them were big 5-star, 4-star guys. We might have gotten some 3-star guys here, but I've always been that old school coach mindset. I'll take a 3-star guy all day. He's hungry enough and he wants it.
Well, I'll take a 1-star guy out of the Midwest. So it's 6'4", 325.
Probably our best 3-star right now looks like it's this guy named Samuel Acosme out of Humble, Texas. Dude is 6'6" and 295 pounds as a freshman.
Tackle? Wow, that's pretty good.
Offensive lineman, yeah.
Well, that's okay.
So I'll say this: overall with the spring game, there was a lot of awesome on defense.
Real quick, wide receiving core, how'd they look to you?
Oh, great,
dynamic,
absolutely dynamic.
Sure.
I mean, it's still, in my opinion, our strongest.
Sure, yeah, they made a lot of plays for us last year. I mean,
a lot.
When they touched that ball, they were dynamic.
This going into the second year is where I will say I will, as a fan, all of us as a fan will be able to start pointing fingers at this coaching staff.
Yes.
If we cannot figure out a rotation that works with all these wide receivers, because the problem I felt we had last year, he tried too much to try to make everybody happy and play everybody.
Sure.
And we had a rotation every week of here's our new starting 3, and you can't. You can't have that. You have to know who's your X, who's your Y, who's your Z.
You got to know your player base to know who's going to give you the best opportunity to win.
Because that's how that works.
And I get matchups, but you still got your starting line. You got to put them out there. You got to develop them.
And you have to realize if you're going to train as a wide receivers coach for your players to play receiver, you need to train your Y to play like a Y.
Absolutely.
You have to train your Z to play like a Z, and vice versa. And
it's great to have a bunch of athletes.
Oh yeah,
but you got to mold them.
You got to know. So moving forward here. Oh, go ahead, Z. What you got?
I just want to point out a few things before we move on. One, it felt really good just to watch UT again.
Just see any football.
Also, Gerard Hurd looked pretty good. I don't know if you saw that one flea flicker play they did.
Yeah.
He's still got an arm. I was really impressed. The defense is, I don't want to say flawless, but they're flawless. They're really, really good. I don't think we're going to have a strong running game like we did last year. I think the coaches know that.
Yeah.
And so they're focusing on the areas where they should be.
Are we giving quick final thoughts?
Yeah.
Okay, so my quick final thought is, if we look in this spring game after only handful of practices, as good as we did when we ended the year, I would consider that progress.
Absolutely.
For the simple fact that you're not dropping off too much, and if your starting point is how you were at the end of the season with a W, then you can still develop from there. You can still go up. But if you come into a spring game and you look like you're in shambles and lost all the time, okay, that's something to worry about. But I think having this as a starting point is good.
I forgot to mention, I don't know if you agree with me on this one.
Probably not.
Whether you don't or not, I don't care. I think it's Sam's job to lose.
Wow, interesting.
No, absolutely. No. There's no doubt in that. Okay. There's no doubt in my mind that Sam Ehlinger is the starting quarterback going into Maryland
like Shane,
week 1.
That's
I do too, but
Shane. Here's the problem. We don't have the offensive line for Shane.
Exactly.
Yes.
I feel like I was going to say that earlier. I feel like maybe he should transfer out somewhere.
We don't need him. We don't need that. That would hurt us so much to have. And it
I know. That's why they let him compete.
That's why they let him compete. And you do not. And you will never hear.
If you were to
Tom
go to like
Herman,
a UCLA or a Texas Tech,
anywhere.
I think that would anywhere that just pro styles for him.
You will never hear Tom Herman give a starting quarterback until the day of Maryland.
Did he do that at Houston?
He didn't need to.
No,
he didn't need to. He had other problems at
So what's everybody's thought for record for Texas this year?
I'll let Juan go first.
I think I will say, man, that's tough because
where did we end last year?
With the bowl game, 7-6.
7-6 with the bowl game. I mean, I see us being a pinch better than that. Maybe 9-4, being realistic.
8-4, 9.
Because
9-3.
we have a middle of the schedule that sucks. It sucks. Actually, an early part of the schedule that just sucks. We go Maryland week 1, then we have Tulsa week 2, which is going to be a cakewalk. And then here's where this goes completely downhill. USC, TCU, K-State, Oklahoma. Then we get to breathe with Baylor, and we go to Oklahoma State. And then West Virginia, who still has the returning quarterback.
I'm saying like 8-4.
I think with Mason Rudolph leaving and Baker Mayfield, those are wins.
Yeah, but
the big
Gundy has his dynamic receivers. Gundy will always have a dynamic receiver and a quarterback with a huge arm. So,
and that Oklahoma defense did not lose a lot.
I'm gonna say 9-3, and
that'd be an amazing year to me.
10-3.
No, I think it's a winning. I think we'll do better.
How much better we don't know is honestly the
yeah. We won't know.
I would expect 6-6, 7-5, but
I got to see how we act against Maryland. And I'm curious to watch that defense after being.
You're bringing up bad memories. I know. Think about
I want to see us. I want to see them respond after that embarrassment that they received in Maryland.
Fan Neil, what do you think?
See, but we're playing in Maryland.
What is your quick record so we can wrap this one up?
I would say 8-5.
Yeah,
Fair.
I think it improves. You get some big wins and going into a bowl game 8-5. I think it's a successful year. I think last year
You're going in the
into
right direction.
exactly, and that's how you have to be. You have to be patient now as a UT
So
fan.
here's where we'll kind of transition this here. Cutting it. So as we move into before we get into the NFL draft talk, let's kind of marry the two here. Of the 5 UT players entering the draft, all right, and I'll run down this list.
Yeah, okay, good.
Actually, you don't even need to run down the list.
I do need to know.
We'll run down this list. So of the 5, so we have Connor Williams, outside tackle. Or outside tackle is stupid. Offensive tackle. I seen
Outside
OT,
edge tackle.
edge tackle,
Offensive edge
rusher.
tackle.
He's outside the tight end.
Malik Jefferson,
Okay.
Holton Hollywood Hill, Deshaun Elliott, and Michael Mr. Dixon, the punter.
First round, Michael Dixon.
Let me just go ahead and say this. I'm going to predict this right now. I would say 3rd round, the Raiders are drafting Michael Dixon.
Third round? Yeah, exactly. Go ahead.
The funny part about that, I was looking down through some mock drafts, and I just about died laughing when I happened to see in the 3rd round.
Oh, really?
And I thought it was Tampa Bay taking him.
Oh, Tampa wouldn't do that again.
With Roberto Aguayo. Who's the
that's what
kicker?
it is.
Who's the
Yeah,
kicker?
they just for the fun of it. They're like,
Yeah.
just say it.
But yeah, 3rd round, they said.
Here's the thing. Here's just a quick thing. Sometimes I would never really want to spend such an early pick on a punter or a kicker, but if it helps your defense that much, when you have to go from 50 to 60 yards to 90 and 80,
Yeah.
God, that kicks your ass every game.
When you look at it, when you look at everything that Michael Dixon's done, winning the Ray Guy Award twice,
Yep.
and being such a dynamic player, he won.
He looks like a good
us
athlete,
the
too.
bowl game. He's huge. The
Yeah.
kid is huge. When you think of any position you draft, what is the one position you do not have to do anything? Like, there's no one else outside of a punter that's game ready from the day you draft.
I think all those players
That's
get
a really
picked.
good point.
I think Elliott is probably last. However, the real question is, how many people does Dixon get picked in front of?
Oh yeah,
That's what I
that's
wanna
gonna be
know.
awesome.
He's actually top 100 talent, and
I agree.
It's hard. It's
Technically, you'll give him a 2nd round grade.
it is realistically almost impossible for anyone to argue that he
think
should
he's
not be. If he
The
gets picked,
3rd UT player picked, and
I
that's
agree.
a tough one between him and Malik Jefferson.
Do
But I think
not-
people see his athleticism, and that's where they'll go.
I'm not going to be shocked if someone makes a pull 2nd round to go grab him.
I wouldn't either.
And it's
honestly.
not, and it's the world who's never watched the UT
And
game.
the only reason why I agree with that is because of freaking Roberto Aguayo
Exactly.
being
Oh,
picked in the
God,
2nd round. I mean, come
Ridiculous.
so
Ridiculous.
And the NFL draft is crazy. It's emotional, and it gets crazy out there.
well, when you got teams like Green Bay who's got 12 picks, and we need a punter bad.
Sure,
Real bad.
When you look,
They-
and they,
they
and
go
they
third
love
round
and they
round?
love their draft
Absolutely.
board. Green Bay is one of the few teams. Green Bay is one of the few teams that will go by their draft board no matter what. You have Brett Favre, we're picking Aaron Rodgers. I don't care.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Plus, you'll
And
have 2 first rounds, right?
them.
We just got one.
Oh, one.
Them and the Patriots are the only 2 teams that I think operate almost outside of what most NFL teams do. The Patriots will look at a guy who has a 6th round grade and take him in the 1st round, and it's like, yeah, we like him. Bye.
Yeah.
And the Packers are different in the sense that they'll go with their draft board and
Yeah,
not
it's-
care who's starting or not starting.
It's best player up for that.
It's
award.
best player up. It doesn't matter, and that's kind of why they're successful and competitive all the time. But those are my thoughts.
Yeah. And ZJ, your last thoughts on these 5 men?
How do all of them get drafted?
Longhorn
and
5.
how many of them go before Dixon?
I think they all but Holton Hill get drafted. I think Holton Hill.
Do you think he has too many off the field issues?
I think he'll be last. He'll probably be a undrafted free agent.
I think he'll go 4th.
But I
Late
think
4th.
I think he's good. I
think he's good, too.
I think he can fit. Puna Ford will good. Will go. Deshaun. Those are probably 4th, 3rd rounders. Michael Dixon. I'm saying 3rd round, maybe
Okay.
2nd for
Yeah.
sure.
I don't think
me-
second, but yeah,
I want to say Connor Williams is a 1st rounder.
1st rounder.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so let me ask this question. Of those same 5, and now there are Puna Ford, and Puna Ford doesn't get enough love, but I'm just taking the 5 that showed up to the combine. Of those 5, who do you see being a bust? A lot of people don't want to talk about this. How many of these 5 do you see any one of these 5 not living up to the? Let's say all of these guys are off the board come third round.
I think To answer your question, I think Connor Williams will get hurt and go downhill from there. Probably won't get an extension.
I won't say Malik Jefferson would be a bust because there's no hype behind him when he was a freshman. I think Elliott, but also Holton Hill, because of how dynamic he is, can also go the other way really fast.
Yeah.
But I don't trust Deshaun Elliott's instincts as a safety. He was in the right position. However, as a safety covering open field, I don't like it as much.
And I've said this all last season, even when he was doing fantastic and like getting interceptions and all the other jazz. I've never been a fan of Deshaun Elliott. There's been nothing in Deshaun Elliott's game that makes me believe that he can start for a defense and make an impact. Yeah. Because if you look back at film of almost every interception he had, we're talking tips, overthrows,
And Hager.
and freaking Hager. And it goes to the coach's thing that it takes a D-line to make a DB, and it's 100% it. So it would take a very unique group to put him there. But there was never an instance where he baited a quarterback or
read the eyes right
at all.
No.
If in my opinion, of these five guys, Deshaun Elliott is literally about to rob some NFL team of a lot of money because he is going to get paid.
Because any money he gets is probably too much money.
Too much money. If there's a case of somebody who should have stayed another year to learn, it is him. I just don't see it. I don't see it. Neil, any thoughts on these last guys?
I didn't watch enough UT football to really know.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
He's a Wisconsin guy, and I'm surprised he's kept up this. I'm surprised that Neil's kept up this long, and I appreciate it because I haven't watched that much.
Anybody from Wisconsin you can pinpoint out.
Yeah.
Not a damn person. Go on.
Cheese. The guy that I think is going to be the surprise of the draft, and he's going to drop because the last 2 years he was Wisconsin. Tore one ACL, and I don't remember what the other injury was.
Linebacker, right?
Jack Sitchie.
Going to be a
He's
good
going to
player.
fall into the third, fourth round.
I think he's going to be a Packer.
A terror as a middle linebacker.
I think he's going to be a Packer, personally.
So I would say he's going to be we don't have a whole lot of guys coming out.
Fumagalli,
offense.
Fumagalli for no reason dropped.
That's right.
Fumagalli.
As a tight end, I like Fumagalli a lot, but I think because his combine wasn't like, oh wow,
Yeah.
you just kind of forgot about him.
He runs about a 4.8, 4.9.
He runs a Jason Witten 40.
Yeah, he
so
does. But he's
whatever those toe steps are.
I think I can.
But he runs an absolute precise route, gets separation, and the guy's got phenomenal hands.
Big dude too. He'll catch some 50-50 balls.
Yeah. Not bad at all, man. I do like, again, the only reason I watch Wisconsin football is because I'm a closet Minnesota Golden Gopher fan. I guess now that I said that out loud, it's not really a closet.
You're not really a closet.
Yeah. I have hats. But I do. But I love the All's running back. Young.
The freshman?
They always have a good running back.
Here's the scary part. We just signed a kid out of Jersey. I think it was a high school that played against Taylor. And they say he's actually better.
Oh no!
God.
And behind that offensive line, and that's really the big thing with Wisconsin.
Yeah. Oh, the offensive line.
Their O-line and running back you. I mean, they are.
I feel like that is the key to Big Ten football.
Sure.
Offensive line.
Yeah.
If you don't have
a good quarterback, whoa.
Yeah, like that's just
top five.
That's just like a chair.
What's a quarterback?
Yeah, no, they don't know what that is there, but if they did have
Is
one,
he on the field?
I think one day we did who was the best Wisconsin quarterback, and it was one guy who was a backup, Tolzien.
Scott Tolzien. Technically, we do claim Russell Wilson, even though he only played there 1 year.
Oh yeah, okay.
But,
I'll give you Russell. I'll give you that.
But yeah, outside that, no.
Okay.
You're not going to name another one.
All right, guys. So here's where we're gonna go with the show next.
All right.
It's time.
Nabil, as well as Neil, are gonna run through their drafts. They both did mock drafts. I challenged them to bring their A game.
And we didn't.
And they brought some trash, and I'm very disappointed
Young,
in whatever nonsense. Nabil did a whole mock draft for the 2015 draft class, which was weird to me. I don't know why.
I like to look on the past. I think history tells us a lot.
He likes to relive old things. So how we're going to roll this thing, we're going to run through pick by pick. We're going to let Nabil start us off, and then Neil, you will follow with whatever picks you want. And for anybody who's watched the show listen to the show for as long as we've been doing this, you'll know everybody has their own favorite teams. We got Dallas Cowboy fans here. We got Green Bay Packer fans here. We got
Texan and Patriot fan here,
whatever
and
that
kind
thing
of
is.
beginning to be a Cowboy fan.
Which is weird. Drink one Kool-Aid, please.
That is awesome.
Just one. Pick one Kool-Aid.
We have New Braunfels Saints.
It's New Orleans Saints.
Okay.
It's New Orleans touchdown Saints.
Well, I'll tell you what they're not known for. Keeping their eyes up and making a fucking tackle.
Wow. Damn. Wow.
First bird. I had to let it out before he got to my pick.
Did you
and bird me?
Did you watch that play with the rest of the Dallas Cowboys in the?
Oh,
is that it?
I know who didn't see that play. Whoever that safety was. No one cares.
Thank
about his
God,
name.
all of the Dallas Cowboys saw it.
No, hey, we can make
from
the tackle.
TV with replays.
We can make tackle.
Because they were wishing.
Eyes up, champ.
Pick your plays.
Okay, here
Jesus
we go.
Christ. I'm tired of all this abuse.
So here's how we're going to do it. I'm going to run one pick. We're going to go 1 through 32. I'll have a pick. Neil will have a pick, and we'll both say what our picks are in order. No trades because we felt like it would complicate things. However, we'll probably just say at X pick, this trade will likely happen.
What if this is one true draft where there's no trade ups? When was the last time that happened?
Never. I don't think that's. There might have been a trade. It's probably happened.
A round. I doubt
in first round.
And it's
you might have gotten it in the first round, but never.
You have draft. When you're like a team that picks at 5, and there's a player you really like, but he's like graded 26, and you can't justify picking him at 5. You're going to do everything in your power to trade back for anything. But sure. Anyway, here we go. 2018 Nabil and Neil's mock draft. Say that 3 times fast. And by the way, we're going to use real clock timing, so I'm going to wait 5 minutes. Here we go.
Can we boo you?
Absolutely.
When you come on stage?
I would love to hear your opinion. So number 1, boo! Get him off the stage. Get him off the stage. Number 1, the Cleveland Browns. I have the safe pick, the obvious pick, Sam Darnold's quarterback out of USC. Who do you got, Neil?
No, I did the same thing with Sam Darnold. Now, this is a pick that I will say I think gets traded.
I don't believe that.
I think that Cleveland is going to do an okie doke.
Okay, who is going to trade up for him, and then how much are they robbing someone for it?
I'm not sure if they're going to trade necessarily up just for Sam Darnold. There might be just somebody else.
Sure, like a Josh Allen. Or by the way, I don't think the Browns will pick Josh Allen at all out of Wyoming.
No. Well, I honestly think Denver could be the dark horse to go all the way to one.
I would see them taking Sam Darnold, but they're giving up the house.
They have so many young
for the low price.
So many not good and young quarterbacks. I don't know if a true rookie would help him out.
When I get to Denver, I'm going to explain my pick.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Sam Darnold. Both
you got Sam Darnold.
But Sam Darnold, if Cleveland holds on, well, actually, if he gets traded, I think it's still Sam
number
Darnold
2. I think it should be Josh Rosen, but if I'm the Giants, I think they're dumb enough to go ahead and pick Saquon Barkley at running back. Running back out of Penn State.
Why do you think that's a dumb pick? Because I think that is a fantastic pick.
He's a fantastic player, and he's probably the most dynamic in this draft. But I think you should move on from Eli. That is my assessment. I think you need to start turning that wheel because I don't know what he's done.
Let's say this. Look at. I'm being a homer, but this is the best example I can give. Let's look at the Saints.
Okay,
no.
Sure.
Let's look at the Saints, for example.
You're going to compare Eli Manning to Drew Brees and how?
No, not that at all.
Okay,
but what I'm saying is, a good run game can ease up so much pressure of having the game needing to sit on you. What's the last great Giant running back?
What's his name? The Twins from 10 years ago.
Yeah. So was it 10 years ago? a phenomenal.
Rondé. No, not Rondé. What's his name?
Rondé Barber.
Rondé Barber.
Yeah, Tiki Barber. Tiki Barber. And then the big Brandon.
Brandon Jacobs.
Brandon Jacobs. Yeah.
Well, he wasn't really.
But he done it. But anyway, that I think could ease a lot of the pressure off of Eli to where you can go later in the round and pick a quarterback and just groom him. Or Eli might have a brand new scope on this game if we can now go Dallas route and run heavy.
But you need to have a better O-line because Eric Flowers is terrible.
Right.
Sheriff is okay.
Build an O-line around him.
Sure. Then you would pick O-line. Then you would take Quentin Nelson first because he's, in my opinion, the best player in this draft. If we're talking skill-wise.
So, yeah, I mean, here's the thing with the Giants. They've got zero O-line. Now, I think they'll take Saquon Barkley.
So
here's
Saquon
why
for
I
you
don't
too.
like the pick.
Okay.
Saquon Barkley is not a between the tackles running back.
No, he's not. If it was Ezekiel Elliott, I could see that.
But
if
even
it was,
then, I would still take Nelson.
If it was Fournette,
because
I could see that.
They need to build an offensive line.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I was them, I would trade down, see if I could get
this is the perfect trade down position.
And get offensive linemen.
Rob Buffalo for everything they have and then some. And I think they would give it to you.
Yeah.
So the number 3 pick. I'm sorry, go on.
Ben McAdoo's gone. I think they go with a running back.
I think if they stay there, that's what we're all thinking.
Yeah.
But I think they should go quarterback. That's just me. Or a lineman if we're going by Juan's process of elimination. Because if you're picking number 2 in the second round, you can get Darius Geis. There's another high-quality running back out there. You can pick.
George's Chubb.
Nick Chubb.
Yeah, I think
it could be a third-round slip, and if healthy, boy, you could be good.
That's also true.
Okay.
Number 3, the Jets. I think I just went by, in my opinion, talent. I said Josh Rosen, and I don't know where to place him.
Yeah.
But I think if we're talking talent, he's the next best quarterback.
I mean, I can say why that pick is difficult for you to wrap your head around.
Because the Jets suck
so bad.
Any quarterback that goes there is going to have such a struggle, and I'm like,
because
okay, Baker Mayfield is the perfect player for them because he'll try to make a play by scrambling.
I agree. I can't tell you the best player on the Jets.
Nick Mangold. No,
he's gone. He's retired. Nick Mangold's retired. That's how bad that is, man.
Neil, who do you got?
So I actually said Baker Mayfield.
Okay.
And I think he's the perfect fit for the New York personality.
Absolutely. I think that's a sexy pick and something that the Jets need for their team.
Yeah, I'm going with Neil on this one. I think Baker Mayfield's gone at number 3.
Number 4, Cleveland. I think this is where Cleveland would trade back. However, I think they have a big opportunity to help out their defense. At first, I was thinking Minkah Fitzpatrick, and I think a lot of people were thinking Minkah Fitzpatrick. However, people have kind of weaned off of him for whatever reason. I think he's still one of the most talented guys in this draft. Still, though, I think they put somebody opposite of Myles Garrett and just get that D-line bolstered.
Because that'd be disgusting.
With Bradley Chubb. Bradley Chubb is beastly, and I think that's who they should pick. That's who I'd put them there if they have to stay there.
Okay, so in the offseason, as everybody knows, Cleveland raided the Green Bay Packers.
Yep.
And took our entire executive staff.
Yep.
So in looking at it from the eyes of, really it's not the eyes of Cleveland drafting more. It's
the eyes of the Packers.
They take another quarterback.
Exactly.
That's the rest of the board.
So offensive line, I think, is where they'll go.
Smart.
Nelson out of Notre Dame. They need to get some protection for the quarterback, get a running game going. That's a pack.
Who'd they lose this year?
They lost Joe Thomas retired.
Joe Thomas.
And that's why I
might be able to find somebody in the second.
Great Badger, by the way. Great Badger, Joe Thomas.
I knew, man. Go on.
Go ahead.
I like where your head's at. You definitely got.
Can I get any points from you, man?
Hold on. I'm not sure if I agree with your pick, but I agree with your
assessment.
Yes, go offensive line.
Sure, you're getting a new quarterback.
Quentin Nelson.
Yeah. No, I think Quentin. I don't have a problem with. If you get Sam Darnold too,
either of the two, but they do go offensive line.
Sure.
I think that's I also. I mean, I'm defensive minded. So the idea of Chubb on the other side of Garrett to have these young studs.
Because that's not a pass rush, that's a smash rush.
That's a smash rush. That's a wrap. That's a wrap.
Hashtag smash rush.
Lock it up. But at the same time, I'd have to say a more logical pick would be to go offensive line. Mm-hmm. But there's a part of me that feels like the Browns don't necessarily do logic. Now, I get a lot of that offense is Green Bay, but it's still the Browns owner.
Sure.
Just have a feeling they'll botch this and probably go Chubb when they really should go offensive line.
I like that assessment. Number 5, I have Denver Broncos. A lot of people are saying quarterback. Here's why I won't say quarterback. I say Denzel Ward. They just lost.
Denzel Washington?
Denzel what?
Zale.
You tell me Zale's in this draft? Let me see him.
Zale's in the draft. Tell Zell to come out here. Get my wings for free.
Zell right now. Denzel Ward.
What's up?
I think they just lost Aqib Talib. They have a good front seven. I don't think they go with quarterback for the simple fact that they have Paxton Lynch.
Yeah.
I think they drafted somebody last year, and then they still have who was starting for them. I can never say
for what position?
Quarterback. I can never say his name right.
Case
They got Case Keenum. But it's somebody else from Illinois. Whatever. They have a lot of quarterbacks there that they're not developing very well. And I think if you have Rosen or Mayfield to choose from at 5, when you can't develop a quarterback like Paxton Lynch, who's similar to Mayfield, I think even maybe slightly more talented skill set, you shouldn't touch a quarterback.
Yeah.
And I think for a lot of people, you would grab Quentin Nelson. To me, I'm defensive minded. I think you bolster your cornerback position because you lost Aqib Talib. He's a playmaker. He's one of the best corners in this draft. Denzel Ward at Ohio State.
I like that. What you got, Neil?
So I actually said Ward as well because they need to replace that. Now, if Nelson's available, offense, they're going to take him because they need to protect the quarterback. Now, on your Paxton Lynch, there's talks they're actually going to cut him.
I can see that.
I don't blame him.
He's been an absolute disaster.
Sure.
I wish a team with a decent, just someone who can develop the hell out of a quarterback get Paxton Lynch because I refuse to believe the fact he's NFL garbage.
Sure, I agree. I think what you have to instill in that guy is just a little bit of hard work, a little bit of ethic, a little bit of hunger because I don't think he has that.
Yeah.
I think when he was in Memphis, he did whatever he wanted because he was just that good, and it showed. But I don't think he was hungry for it, and I think that's what's giving him troubles into developing.
Trevor Siemian, that's who you're thinking.
Trevor Siemian.
Northwestern.
I always kept saying Simon or whatever the hell. Number 6, Indianapolis Colts. You know what? You ran through so many old linemen. You only broke Andrew Luck's shoulder. This is where I say you grab Quentin Nelson and you shut your mouth and you move forward. But I also see them trading back again. So it's literally between the Browns, the Giants, and the Colts, I already see trade backs. But I think you grab the best O-lineman. You protect your quarterback, who literally could be one of the greatest of all time, but he hasn't been because he has no weapons, nothing. You're not doing anything to help him. Quentin Nelson, Notre Dame.
So I just didn't see Quentin Nelson making it all the way to him. I think Chubb's the one that slips.
Yep.
I think they go get Bradley Chubb, although they need to get offensive linemen.
Sure.
So bad.
If they go Chubb with that pick, then their next 3 need to be offensive linemen.
I was about to say, if they go back-to-back O-linemen, and like Colton Miller is in the second round out of UCLA, grab him too. Just help him. Help me help you.
Help me.
God.
Even if you have to trade back in.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. And they could. They have 2 third-round picks and a second-rounder. They could jump up. Sorry, they have 2 second-round picks? One of the 2. It's like 2 second rounds or 2 third rounds.
Yeah, cough up, pair up them 3s, go get another 2, and go get you 2 offensive linemen in the second round.
They have 2 second-round picks.
Okay.
They're back-to-back. And take a 2 and a 3 and jump up back in the first, give somebody something, and grab another
I agree.
O-lineman. So number 7. I'm sorry, go on.
Where I say the owner is just not that smart.
Jim Irsay loves alcohol. Number 7, Tampa Bay Bucks. Man, they have so many holes, but I think you just go Minkah Fitzpatrick. But I'm sure that's a team that ZJ pointed out to me a few days ago probably should get a Saquon Barkley. I know they need a running back. They need help everywhere. If Quentin Nelson was there, Bradley Chubb was there, whoever, take him. Minkah Fitzpatrick was the best on my board available.
Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Is that a Pokemon?
Minkah Fitzpatrick. No, I'm imitating the parrot that's going to be calling his name.
Oh my God! The freaking Tampa Bay Buccaneers on day 3.
That's
so gross. Parrot announcing their pick. I can go that wrong in so many ways.
I think because they have so many holes, I can go best left over. Minkah Fitzpatrick is going to be the best on the board at that point in time. So no, I agree. I think that's the way to go. But they put themselves in such a mess right now.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
So much.
I think they're in such a mess that maybe Jameis Winston's time might not last much longer. I don't know. Chicago Bears, number 8, Tremaine Edmonds. Now, do I think he's the best linebacker out there? No. But the way people draft or the way teams draft, they see potential and they're like, well, he could be this good.
Yeah.
He could be this amazing. And he shows a good skill set of kicking ass and whatnot. So I think Tremaine Edmonds, Chicago Bears, but they're another team that has holes. I'm sure they'd love Quentin Nelson.
Yeah, and I'm already saying, I'll agree with you on that one as well. He's a Bear-type running back. He's not the best in the draft at that point in time, but what did I say?
Running back.
Wow. He's a Bear-type linebacker, and he fits that linebacking core perfectly.
Yeah.
But this is the Bears. This is the same team that drafted a tight end no one ever heard of out of a college no one ever heard of.
Sure.
In the third round last year. So, they might get Dixon as a punter in the first round and call it a
great value. Number 9, San Francisco, I think, is on the up and up. I think this is the most interesting team in this draft because of where they stand. But I think they get Roquan Smith, really piss off the Raiders, and get him out of Georgia. The guy's hungry. He's good. Yeah. What do you think, Neil?
So I flip between with Roquan Smith is who I think they'll take.
Sure.
They could use another offensive lineman.
I agree.
I was going to say that.
I'm already going to say so. Mike McGlinchey.
Mike McGlinchey, good pick. Yeah.
I would say between the two. I mean, it's between the two of those. I think they should go offensive tackle, but man,
I think them and the Raiders, in my opinion, could flip picks because I have the Raiders taking Mike McGlinchey offensive tackle.
Well, I think if one takes one, the other one takes the other.
Sure. You're losing. Donald Penn got injured. He's on the bad side of 30, and Giacomelli from the Browns is your best offensive tackle. That's not very good for you. Did you have Michael McGlinchey there too?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
you got to protect Derek Carr. That's just the thing. You got to get him. You got to get him healthy.
Yeah.
I think I like maybe a cornerback.
I think they love Denzel Ward, but I think they already might be stacked there.
But I think they're listening to Jimmy G and kind of giving him what he needs.
You're talking about the 49ers.
I'm talking about the 49ers.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I think they love Denzel Ward or Fitzpatrick.
I think they go offensive line if somebody's available at that point because Jimmy G's used to that style of offense to have a golden O-line, and they're going to give him that.
So 11. Here's where I think things start to get a little interesting. I want to say Vita Vea to fill in the Ndamukong Suh hole, but I think the Dolphins go with Baker Mayfield right here because they're just not seeing it in Ryan Tannehill anymore. He hasn't lived up to expectations, and I think you want eyes. You got new unis, which they look the same to me. You want eyes. People want to start looking at you. You got to think about the future.
Baker Mayfield.
Amendola,
the new bromance.
I don't consider Amendola anybody. So go on, Neil. Who do you got for?
So because I had Baker going in the third pick, I do believe that Wyoming's very own Josh Allen will be the QB that Miami will take. He is the coach, and I just lost his name.
The coach for the Miami? For the Dolphins?
For the Miamis?
For the Miamis? I can't think of his name to save my life.
ZJ will look it up here in a second. I'm sure he's on.
Mark Richt.
Who is it?
Mark Richt?
No.
Is that a name?
Oh, no, it's the Hurricanes. Wrong. Miami, yes.
The Dolphins.
The wrong one.
I'm sorry. Go on, Neil.
Adam Gase.
Adam Gase.
Yeah. There we go. And he's an Adam Gase type quarterback.
Sure.
So I think Josh Allen, that's where he lands. And I think they move on from the experience.
Now, I think at 12, if the Bills have to stay and this happens for them, they'd be jumping up and down, screaming in the room because I have them picking Josh Allen at 12 from Wyoming.
They're drafting a quarterback regardless.
They're going to get that quarterback. They're going to find a way.
They have no choice.
They want to find somebody, and they think they can move up in the playoffs and move out without Tyrod. Who do you got for Bills?
So I went back and forth on this one. I landed on Josh Rosen. However, the Bills I could easily see taking Mason Rudolph. And Rosen
early for Mason, no?
And Rosen continues to slip. I'm starting to wonder how far Rosen will actually slide.
Yeah, and I'll say that ZJ to your question, I think it might be early for Mason, but when you look at a team like the Bills that's so desperate to get a quarterback, they're going to pull the trigger on the best available on the board at that time. And Mason has upside. I mean, he needs some help, and I don't know if the Bills are the team to help. but
not exactly known as quarterback developers.
Yeah, but it's worth a pull.
This is one of the most quarterback rich drafts in a long time.
Yeah,
it's kind of exciting.
I'm going to make a last minute change here because I realized he wasn't on my board. So I'm going to see where this goes from here. Washington Redskins, I wrote down Derwin James, not realizing I somehow missed this player, but I don't think they go Derwin James. I think they go Vita Vea. They drafted a defensive tackle last year. Can't remember his name, slipped in the draft, but they still need D-line help. And I think that's this. They go Vita Vea for Washington. I hate them, but whatever.
Let me ask y'all this question, and just may take a little just recapping of your picks. Who did y'all have taking Josh Allen?
So I had for Josh Allen, Miami Dolphins.
At what pick?
And that's at the number 11 spot.
11.
I had Josh Allen to the Bills falling at 12.
Okay. Because I'm thinking of, it was very interesting, ZJ, you mentioned this a second ago, on when you look at teams and when they have problems when they draft quarterbacks, some things that I feel like don't necessarily pay attention to is the environment of which quarterbacks play.
I agree.
And when you look at a team like Buffalo, it get cold.
Yeah.
And Wyoming, and I had to look because I wasn't sure, but Wyoming does not have a dome that they play in, unlike San Diego. So if you need a quarterback who can play outside in the cold,
and with teams who play outside, like the Jets, and the Patriots,
you need a quarterback who can handle that, and that's why I think full-heartedly that Josh Allen is going to be the guy that they go grab for that reason if they're smart, and they do anything in their power to go grab him.
Very analytical. I like that.
Number 14. I'm sorry. Who did you have for Washington?
I actually did go Derwin James because they do need some help at cornerback.
Yeah.
Actually, I had Vita Vea sliding back a little bit.
I like the guy. He's good. He'll pass rush a little bit, but what he's really doing is he's clogging up the run on a 2-on-1 against center guard combos, and really helping your DNs and linebackers get to that quarterback. So he's a rarity to me. 14, because I dropped Derwin James from Washington, I think the Packers, who I originally had him picking Marcus Davenport, now pick Derwin James.
Nice.
Could be. Being the Packer expert on the panel.
What do y'all need? Pardon my ignorance, but what is
anything?
What does
they'll take anything?
They need.
I guarantee you, if someone like Josh Rosen is there,
what do the Packers need?
So here,
So you think they go quarterback?
Yes.
Let the expert talk.
So
I think the expert would agree with me.
I have a curveball I'm going to throw in there. So we never picked wide receivers in the first round. I think outside of Sterling Sharp, that was it.
Right.
I don't think he was a first rounder.
And late first round, I think.
Okay.
I think, if I remember right. Mostly second, third rounds. I actually had written down originally Calvin Ridley. We just let Jordy Nelson walk out the door. We told him he was going to be the number 4 option. I have zero idea who the other 3, well, 2 of the next 3 are in front of him are going to be. So that's why I thought, okay, maybe they're going wide receiver big time. Now, I don't know if you've paid attention to the news, but there seems to be a lot of dissent between Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packer front office. So we are actually very good at developing a quarterback.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to say they might actually grab Mason Rudolph.
Interesting.
Ooh, okay.
Because you would have 2 years to groom him if you were going to just
Yeah.
I don't think they grab Mason Rudolph at 14. I think that'd be the dumbest idea.
That's like a sit and marinate thing. Because how many years does Aaron Rodgers have left?
So he's got 2 years in this contract. He's only 34. He just turned 34. So, he wants to play till he's 38, 39. Now, the trick with Aaron is he has already knows what he wants to do in his next life outside of football. And he breaks that collarbone again, I think he punches his ticket and says, I'm out. I'm out. He wants to be a movie producer and do documentaries and all kinds of stuff like that, which is really cool. Yeah. He has a girlfriend that has made more money than he's made.
Yeah. So do you see him more now as he is getting older and getting wiser into this game? The love of football is not necessarily there.
He loves it a lot. It's just he wants more say in Green Bay, and in Green Bay, there's one thing you don't get.
Is a say. Yeah, I feel like if they didn't give it to Favre, they're not going to give it to Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, and Aaron does. I mean, it's funny because it's like Aaron tests the water, throws something out there, you get the big reaction, he backsteps it. It's like, oh no, I didn't mean that. I just want to play quarterback. But from a need perspective, defensively, linebacker, Clay Matthews, a lot like Sean Lee in Dallas. Yeah. Plays real hard, blows himself up, can't stay healthy all year long. Yep. And he's 33, going to be 34. He's
on the later end.
This is the last year of his deal. He could really use a linebacker.
Defensive end, Chubb maybe?
Front line, we've actually sitting pretty good. Now, defensive backs, we need another defensive back to groom.
I think that's where they would look at Marcus Davenport pretty heavily.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
Oh, no. And a punter, I will take Dixon in the third round. Thank you very much. Our punter can't kick 40 yards to save his life. No, I mean, offensively, we need another offensive guard.
Sure.
Yeah.
We need to find another receiver or two. I get Devontae Adams, great number one option. Randall Cobb is the ultimate,
I think Calvin Ridley would be really good on any team that he goes to almost any team.
He's very similar to Jordy.
Sure.
He's not going to blow you away. Although Jordy was a lot faster than he looked.
Yeah.
But he's a possession receiver. He's a big guy. Go get that 50-50 ball. So I like him a lot from that standpoint. We've got burners on the team that just need to come up and get some playing time outside of the fact that Trevor Davis yelled, they had a bomb in his suitcase. He's not a bright burner, but the guy can fly.
I feel like the Green Bay Packers are a
football team.
Like they're a good running car with the check engine light that's been on for a couple months but still works fine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Wow, that is the best analogy.
But something is like really wrong inside.
You
know what I mean?
That is
really expensive.
That was deep. That was deep.
Man, you'll know what I'm talking about.
Where was this last year?
The big problem with Green Bay has always been the coaching staff. You cannot. We have talent on the defensive side of the ball.
Y'all keep y'all's coaches though. That's the thing.
We fired everybody outside of Mike McCarthy. We fired every single.
You kept everyone since the beginning of time. No, we fired everybody. They're gone.
I guess
we don't have anybody.
Yeah. I mean, it's from and really, I thought Mike McCarthy should go as well. He's the one that's lobbied to keep these coaches in place too long. Right. Dom Capers was way past his time. Dom was great when he was in his 50s. The man's like 76 years old.
Old school.
And he hasn't had a good defense in 6-7 years. So I think with the new defensive coordinator, Mike Pettin, in place is a good move. Now, Mike McCarthy was given a 1-year extension and was told, Super Bowl or you're fired.
Jesus.
So
no pressure.
No.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, but in all fairness, he's wasted a few good years of Green Bay that they should have made it.
I feel like he's a little hard-headed towards the front office and towards his star quarterback. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Yeah. And I mean, I'd also say, like, you look at coaches that are successful in this league, you got to adapt.
Sure.
You got to be able to adjust. And if you remember last season, Bill, when the Saints started 0-2, even last season going in, I'm yelling to fire Sean Payton because he won't adapt. Like, you're not changing what's been, like, we keep losing, and you keep doing the same thing. So I think that is a Green Bay issue that you're now facing.
Yeah. Now, one thing I found interesting in listening to Fox Sports and ESPN, where you've got some of the old Green Bay Packers that have played for McCarthy coming on as analysts, Greg Jennings, James Jones, so on and so forth. They all point to the same thing when they asked, is it Aaron? Is it what's the problem? And they all say McCarthy. And Greg Jennings' point is, we're up 2 touchdowns, and McCarthy wants to run the ball, which we don't do very well.
Yeah, no.
And then we lose the game. He goes,
he doesn't know how to. You don't throttle down that machine.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to step on a team's throat and put them out of their misery. So that's why I think that Green Bay's at that point right now where, look, you win now or...
Yeah. Welcome back to the Green Bay podcast. So at number 6, I'm sorry, at number 15.
Good insight.
6. Are you even listening to yourself talk this whole time?
Bro, I fell asleep like halfway through that. Something about Mike McCarthy needs a girlfriend. I don't remember. 15, Arizona Cardinals picked their guy in Lamar Jackson, quarterback, Louisville. I think somebody would take a chance on him pretty early. And I think Arizona's a perfect team.
So for me, because when I originally did this, I wasn't thinking about Green Bay reaching and grabbing Mason Rudolph.
Sure.
I actually had Mason Rudolph going to the Arizona Cardinals. They need to draft a quarterback.
Yeah, I was going to say, who is the quarterback?
Sam
Bradford.
Yeah.
So
that's right. Yeah.
I don't think he'll make it. That's why I think, with that strong O-line in Arizona.
Who's their head coach?
Bruce Arians still.
But I thought Bruce Arians retired. Bruce Arians retired.
Oh.
So look that up, DJ. But here's my question. And I think this also depends on heavily who their head coach is. It's going to take a special person. Who is it?
Stephen Wilkes.
Oh, the defense. Isn't he D coordinator for Panthers at one point?
Right.
So who... It's going to take a special person to develop Lamar Jackson.
Sure. Yes.
And I just think of this, if I'm a head coach coming in, a defensive-minded head coach. Mm-hmm. Do I want to?
You know what I think?
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, here's my thing, and here's why I disagree with you. I feel like guys who are defensive-minded in a draft where they know they have needs on offense tend to go with offense because they feel like I can work with this. Same with offensive-minded coaches. Look at Green Bay as an example. They have an amazing quarterback, but
right.
Who have their wide receivers been? Because the two main ones have always been injured.
Right.
They don't always. I mean, they have a good O-line, but they don't always have the best running game. Blah 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 blah.
Right.
I feel like someone who is certainly one side of the ball minded will take a chance on the other side of the ball.
I think
trusting their coordinator.
My thing is more or less: do you want to take on a project like Lamar Jackson your first year in?
I don't think he'll start his first year.
Well, and I think he needs about 2-3 years to get ready to start. And are you telling me Sam Bradford's going to make it 2-3 years?
No, I don't think he's going to make it. I don't think he's going to make it 5 games.
This is where I would not be shocked to find a team like Arizona trading up to go grab a better quarterback.
They have been rumored to talk to Denver,
and I think that would be a smart pick because, and if I am not mistaken, I firmly believe they still have Tyrann Mathieu on that roster.
No, they don't.
Oh, where is he now?
Houston.
Oh
yeah. That's right. Hell yeah, he's in Houston. Yeah, that's right. Sorry, I just
wow. So many lights went off in front of my face. It was Christmas.
I got really excited.
It's like the 4th of July.
I'm really excited for Houston.
But I was going to say that would have been a great trade bait, but now that it's gone. But I would not be shocked to find Arizona trading back up into this to try to go get a better quarterback than that. Because if you look at Sam Bradford, none of us would put money on the fact Sam Bradford's giving you a full season. Not a single one of us.
Arizona bet some money.
They would. But I'd say that to say if there is one thing that Sam Bradford can do
is get hurt.
He can get hurt like no one of it. No, he can sling the rock. The man is smart enough. He knows football.
Sure.
So go grab you a better quarterback to just learn as much as you can from Sam Bradford. If I'm Arizona, I better have a damn
Rosen,
good
Allen, Mayfield, Darnold, all gone. You're telling me Mason Rudolph, a guy who can just really throw a ball deep, doesn't know how to call a play, is better than Lamar Jackson because that's the next best step outside of him. Or would you just grab who you need and just wait till a second for a Luke Falk or a Mike White?
I think I'd go that route because if we look at Arizona, Arizona also needs offensive line.
Sure.
Arizona's offensive line isn't the best.
No.
Their defense is kind of washed up now than what it used to be. So there's a lot of other positions I think you need to fill that you realize we're not in a position early on in this draft to grab the best possible quarterback to set us up unless you can get super, super aggressive and move up and get an early pick and get a quarterback. So you take that alternative and say, all right, maybe next year we get our quarterback. Let's get a quarterback to come in here to be a decent backup. Let's sit here and train this guy up. But at the same time, let's fix our team because we're basically on a clean slate.
I think what they're thinking is the NFC West is in flux. And if we can be competitive, especially with this kid who knows how to win, let's take him. If he gives us a good chance to win and scramble and make plays like Deshaun Watson, why not?
I think regardless of who they draft, they are going to be the weak link in their division. And if they can go 8-8, that's really good for them. But they got so much shit wrong with them. So much new faces. It's not going to be a good year for Cardinals.
Well, I actually said Mason Rudolph, but here's one thing I could see him going to do. Green Bay went and picked up DeShone Kizer from the Cleveland Browns, which makes our backup quarterback that started last year available.
Shit's happened, I forget.
I could see Arizona swinging a trade for him, 3rd, 4th rounder. And staying in that spot.
I don't see them giving up a 4th for him,
that. So
I don't see them giving up a 4th for him.
For who? For the backup?
Yeah.
UCLA kid. God, he's your guy.
Why did my mind just draw blank?
Allen Rosen?
No, he's the backup quarterback for Green Bay.
Kizer? Quarterback.
No. Anyway, moving on. Number 16, Baltimore Ravens. Calvin Ridley, wide receiver. I don't know if anybody would disagree with that, but I think they get a good solid receiver to help out Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco is one of those guys who's not as bad as everyone says he is, but certainly not as good as his resume is. However, you need to give him the best chance possible, and I think Brashard Perriman a few years ago was a bust.
Right.
his best wide receivers have been Steve Smith and Anquan Bolding, who have kind of been at the end of their career, and I think Calvin Ridley, most polished guy there, probably gives him the best chance to extend his life.
I'll say there's two things. One, Brett Hundley.
There we go. Thank you.
I wouldn't get a fourth round pick for him.
And the one thing we need to keep in mind with Baltimore, I don't know how impactful this is, but they just acquired Willie Snead officially today.
I think they take Willie Snead just in case they don't feel like maybe Dallas jumps up, maybe a team jumps up to get a receiver. If they don't get their receiver right there, I think they feel comfortable with trading back, waiting until the second to get whoever they want to get.
See, I think so. I'd had him taking DJ Moore. And I think, with Willie Snead, pair him up with DJ Moore. That's a really nice receiving combo for Flacco.
Number 17, stupid Chargers. The Los Angeles Chargers, that's still weird to say.
Superchargers.
They gross. I think they extend what's his dumb Phillip Rivers stupid face.
God, I hate him. Can he just retire?
I think they extend
already?
his life a little bit. Draft Connor Williams here.
That would be good.
I think it's a good fit. Who do you got?
So 17, the San Diego Chargers, because we refuse to call them the Los Angeles
My
Chargers.
man.
I agree. Connor Williams, they need an offensive line help really bad. They need to get that running game going. They got a great back. They just need some blocking.
I think 18, if Derwin James was there, certainly the Seattle Seahawks would want to take him. However, they just traded away their star defensive end. They got to rebuild that team. They got to rebuild it.
I feel like Pete Carroll is just I don't want to say he's losing it, but I question everything now with Seattle.
Let's just say that gum is starting to get dried out. Let's just say that
he can't keep...
Profound analogy.
Listen,
you can't keep chewing on that.
I can see them going with Josh Jackson here. But I think the more impactful pick would be for your defensive line. I think they get Harold Landry out of Florida State. Get your pass rush back up. I'm disappointed because I want the Cowboys to take him, but go on, Neil. Who do you got?
Yeah. No, and I say because I didn't have Green Bay taking Marcus Davenport in the first place. I think that he's the perfect person to fill in for Michael Bennett.
Yeah.
Go get Marcus Davenport.
They really need offensive line, though. That's just my opinion.
How does a team...
But they need it's back to that old analogy where it's like you have garbage receivers, you have... you're about to trade away Earl Thomas.
Name something you're doing right.
Russell Wilson.
That's it.
The
unis be on pernt.
Okay.
But it's I feel so Seattle hurts my heart. Because I've as much as I hate to say I've liked watching Seattle because every Seattle highlight is them running through the Saints.
Yeah.
But Jesus Christ, you had it all, man. We're talking about a team 3 years ago who was a defending, fighting for a Super Bowl champ, and you had the most fearsome defense,
Legion of Boom,
and I feel like Pete Carroll just squandered that. Did not have a plan in place to when you sign all these guys.
Yeah, you have too many stars. I think they should have tried to negotiate better as far as money goes, or traded one or two of these pieces for draft picks to replace them.
You know what I think this also pays into, and this is coaching philosophy.
Yes.
And I say that because you didn't instill upon these guys a team first mentality.
No.
You didn't instill upon them that we're a family, because you can get away.
They tore themselves up from the inside out.
Exactly. And I look at a team like the Saints. Our defense was trash, but our offense have always had studs.
Yep.
Drew Brees has never gotten a max contract since Drew Brees has been a Saint, and Lord knows statistically he should have.
Yep.
But that's a coach that has instilled upon this team, and just others like it. The Patriots do a similar deal where let's make sure we win, and let's make that the priority versus you getting yours. Because if that's the case, go somewhere else and go get it. And that's where you had just so many personalities with Seattle that they just refused to just give in to the team and let it happen.
Now, here's my question I've had for probably about a year now. Does Seattle hit a point where they nuke the team and actually...
If you ask one, yes.
Nuke everything. They actually trade Russell Wilson to start over?
No. No.
Neil,
you keep him.
Ooh, you're ringing every bell I love to ring.
Yeah, he does.
Bill knows I am a sucker for destruction. I believe full-heartedly. Here's the thing. I can't
see it, but
I can't see it either. But you look at a team like
you'd get a lot.
Look at a team like San Francisco. the 49ers, and you look at a team like the Browns, not the Browns, I'm sorry, the Bears. These are two teams that you really can't say what one thing they have that's great. That's a fire sale. If anybody sees anything worth anything on this team, come grab it. Seattle has maybe 3 more people on that team than any of these other guys.
That's it. Yeah.
That's it. So go get as much as you can. Go become, and this sounds awful, go be the Browns.
It's okay to be the Browns for a little bit.
Yeah, go get as many picks as you can.
However,
Seattle
will load up for the next 2 or 3 years.
However,
Denver would hand over their entire draft portfolio.
Sure.
Take it.
Yours.
Russell Wilson.
Yours. Okay, so moving on, 19, Dallas Cowboys. You know, a lot of people have...
Let's go by now.
Yeah, okay.
All right, and next pick.
And the Detroit Lions. I have Dallas picking DJ Moore, wide receiver out of Maryland.
They're picking a wide receiver regardless.
I don't think it's guaranteed to pick a wide receiver in the first round. I think they have a glaring hole on defense that I think they might pick Leighton Vander Esch, which I would not want to happen. He's not Bobby Carpenter, as Cowboy fans would know, but still, it's just, I don't want him. Anyway, just let me finish this point. I think a lot of people are showing Courtland Sutton to be the pick for them. And the main reason is because he's a Dez Bryant clone. Here's the issue with this team. You have a bunch of guys who are kind of tall, who don't run that many route trees. You need a speedster out there. Somebody that's explosive that can run anything that's not a post or a 9 route. It's this kid is you cut Dez Bryant for a reason, and you have too many guys that are like him. So I think you go DJ Moore because you need explosive players.
DJ Moore.
Yeah, I think you need somebody that's explosive who can do something after the ball is caught. I see a lot of Steve Smith in him. So I like the kid. Steve Smith or Golden Tate. I like the guy for that reason. Who do you got, Neil?
So it pained me to do this, but I think Harold Landry's going to.
I would love that pick too.
But I could easily see you guys taking Will Hernandez as well for an offensive guard.
Shut up. That's stupid. Shut up, Neil. We're not picking a guard.
You guys like offensive linemen?
Shut up, Neil. We're done. How many money we're going to give our offensive linemen?
A lot.
Dude, that's what one goes
That's what you do. Here's the thing. That's the not making sure you're doing a Pete Carroll move.
No, it is.
Let's keep this loaded.
It gives somebody like Dak
an extra 2 seconds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A couple seconds.
When he's not Tony Romo.
Here's what it also keeps. It keeps egos from getting to your offensive line.
Sure.
Because now your offensive lineman can't come and asking, I want max contract. Yeah. All right, get the fuck out. We got a guy here that we're sitting on. Yeah. Let's bring him in and start him because at any point, we got your replacement.
Well, and your other problem that you're going to run into is you are going to have to start paying some of these offensive linemen.
Yeah.
That's why I don't
cheap. And so that's why I think Will Hernandez could very well be the guy that they lean toward.
But what if they pay these offensive linemen? That's the issue.
Then who else do you
and then
pay?
4 years later, you have Will Hernandez who's ready for $8.5 million.
That's why you never stop drafting top offensive linemen.
Top men.
Who are those?
They're top men.
We got 2 years before you got to pay Dak. And by the time Dak comes up for a contract, you're talking $28-30 million easy a year.
And then might be guaranteed at that point in time. So I can see the logic, but I would wait till the second round. But that's just me. I think you can wait a year or two, find a guy, especially if it's a guard on an already stud O-line. You can get a pretty good guy and just plug him in. Next pick, Detroit. I had them picking Will Hernandez. However, I think that I need help on defense. Put somebody next to Ziggy Ansah. I went Marcus Davenport, UTEP. I don't know what's up with UTEP players this year. Like just coming in hot.
Yeah.
Like last year was like Louisiana Tech guys that were coming in hot. It's always a weird team that has like 3 or 4 studs coming in.
Yeah.
Who do you got?
I actually went Will Hernandez because I watched Matt Stafford run for his life a little too much. And, I don't know if they're going to make
Still did great.
He did. He really did. I think he could really use another interior offensive lineman. So that would probably be the best way for them to go.
Okay. At 21, Bengals, I think they go Leighton Vander Esch, linebacker out of Boise.
He's their type of player. No, I agree.
Notice how we're kind of blazing by because nobody cares
about these things.
Buffalo Bills 22. They get this pick from the Kansas City Chiefs because I believe they traded for the quarterback they have right now. out of Texas Tech, which names are just lost on us tonight.
Dude, Texas Tech quarterback?
Mahomes. Anyway, I mean, they get a quarterback with their 12th pick.
That's right.
Somebody's got to protect him. I think they go Isaiah Wynn out of Georgia, offensive guard. Who do you got, Neil?
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you there. They need all the offensive line help they can get as well.
Okay, perfect. So, number 23. The Patriots, nobody gives a shit. I think they need help everywhere. And so...
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about the worst team in the NFL currently needing... I mean, you want to talk about blowing a team up.
Yep.
Let's blow this trade Tom Brady.
Bill Belichick about to reset.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Just destroy
Listen,
it.
I wouldn't be surprised if this team says, let's just see if we can move up to get a quarterback in this draft, hypothetically. However, I don't think they do that here at number 23. I think they go Josh Jackson, defensive back. They need a stud. They need somebody who can keep a team like the Philadelphia Eagles from throwing for 1,700 yards in a game before the half is up. Like, murder them.
So I think it's either defensive tackle, defensive lineman, Howard Landry, Taven Bryan, to throw lots of names, but I think they go wide receiver.
Wow.
I would like to
see round.
Who's that wide receiver?
I would like to see Calvin Ridley.
I don't think he drops that far. Well, he could. If there's a wide receiver there, I think it's maybe Cortland Sutton. It would be a little bit different.
There's reports saying that Ridley could drop all the way into the low 20s.
If there are people who have him drafted or mocked all over the board. It's with all these receivers, but go on.
Defensive position, or especially with Matt Patricia gone, I don't know what that defense is going to look like.
Yeah.
It didn't look like much half of last year. But I think with Amendola gone, they definitely lost a major offensive personnel. But I think I would like to see them take a wide receiver.
So for me, I think...
and they got rid of Brandon Cooks.
Tom Brady is going to FaceTime owner Rob Kraft, and he's going to tell Rob that he needs offensive line help. And they do, because they just lost their best offensive tackle.
I like how you preface that with Tom Brady making the decisions.
It's a Brady decision. It's a Brady team.
Let's face it. I mean, Tom Brady got Jimmy G tossed out of there.
Which I'm still... When they win that Super Bowl in 2, 3, 4 years, it's still going to piss me off.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
49ers.
Yep. Because Jimmy G was a serious threat to the Brady throne.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, all reports was Bill Belichick was going to let Brady walk this offseason and go find another team to go play for, and Jimmy G put in.
And just to scratch that scab a little more, when the 49ers win that Super Bowl 2, 3, 4 years, Patriots are going to go like fucking 4-8.
Oh yeah, that's when the world switches.
Yeah.
That's where the contract that Belichick did with the devil runs out.
It's going to happen unless they draft Mason Rudolph.
Well, hold on to your
because they don't have any back. They have Brian Hoyer.
Yeah, he's really good. Listen, I got to go to the movies at 8, so let's just move on through. I don't give a crap about your opinions.
You ain't making this movie, man.
I'm making this movie.
We ain't rushing this thing for you, bro.
The Carolina Panthers at 12. Carolina Panthers at 25.
Not enough.
Wide receiver.
They don't have enough.
I need to skip. I got to go to the movie. At 24. ZJ, you had your thoughts.
I think they're in the same boat as the Patriots. They need an offensive guard, offensive lineman, or wide receiver.
They go wide receiver. I think this one makes one happy.
Yeah.
Christian Kirk. Cortland Sutton's there. I just don't think they get another big-bodied guy. I think they need a dynamic receiver. I think Christian Kirk's the pick for the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, I really kind of hate to agree with Nabil again, but I actually have to.
That's what happens when you're smart.
Yeah.
Number 25, but you got to give Mariota a little more time. So that's why I go with Billy Price, center guard combo out of Iowa. Who do you got?
I think that's the way they should go, but I think that they went and picked up New England's cornerback, the offseason Butler.
Oh yeah,
I think they pair him up with Josh Jackson, and I think that improves that defense.
I think another cornerback to look out for might be Mike Hughes. But here's the reason why I don't think they go cornerback. They drafted a cornerback last year at 19, so very athletic dude. I can't remember his name. I don't really care right now.
Yeah.
Number 26.
You need to care.
Yeah, come on, bro. They're very important, bro.
Yeah, their new unions are such garbage to me.
They're hot
ass.
Garbage.
Number 26, Juan's favorite team, the Atlanta Falcons or the Atlanta 28-3s.
Yes.
At first, I had Deron Payne as a D tackle they go with to stop the run, but They're an attacking defense, so I switched it up to Florida's Taven Bryan, defensive tackle. He's a real upfield guy, but can get lost a little bit in two-on-one situations.
I like to hear that.
Keep his head down sometimes a little too much. I know you like to hear this.
I love that.
But when he gets to the quarterback, he hurts him. I think Taven Bryan, defensive tackle.
Defensive position, for sure.
I'm ready to say I agree there. I kind of flipped around with a few different picks to them, but again, and landed on Bryant. I think that's a good Atlanta fit.
Yeah.
Number 27, New Orleans Saints.
It's called the New Orleans Touchdown Saints.
That's stupid as hell. That's
Saints,
the dumbest thing.
Saints go marching in zone.
Saints.
Hey,
Okay.
shut the hell up, Patriots.
At first I had Arden Key as the pick, defensive end, and I think he's a perfect pairing. However, I'm progressive, and I think everybody at this table is relatively progressive, but I don't think the NFL is. And hearing that he has a weed problem or had one last year that he was trying to fix and missed out on most of the season really alerts a lot of teams as far as putting that much money into him.
Yeah.
And don't want to upset their fan base.
Plus, there's one thing: the Saints don't pick players with problems. They don't
seem to find them.
I mean, do they? I mean, but here's the problem: if they find a player with problems, they don't keep them.
You talking about like health problems or like?
They kept Gillette for like at least 20 more minutes after he beat that one with the belt.
Oh, okay.
And that's like the worst thing about it. Like we got rid of Gillette, and then it comes to find out, no, he didn't do it. Doesn't matter. We don't care.
I don't care.
We're not keeping him.
So I have them taking Lorenzo Carter, edge rusher, linebacker out of Georgia. He's defensive end. He's a little bit light in the ass, but his combine numbers were fantastic. He's an amazing athlete. However, as far as football skills go, he still needs to put a lot of things together as far as his hands, being able to keep his eyes up. But still, he's a dynamic edge rusher. I think that they would take him. I think if it's not them, probably the Patriots would take him at 31. But really, his physical makeup allows him to potentially be a first-round pick. Neil, who do you got?
Vita Vea. I think he slips.
Vita Vea.
Wow.
And
Interesting.
That is a fall from grace.
I just think from what teams need, I think he'll slip. If he slips,
Yeah.
I think a lot of teams would take him.
Orleans.
Pat, I think a lot of teams would take him.
So I think all of you have forgotten.
Jesus Christ.
You've all forgotten.
Let me just go ahead and preface this by saying Juan put no damn effort into this.
I don't need to.
I
don't need to put effort into
Google
this because
Saints mock draft and found a guy who posted only Saints picks.
Yes.
He didn't put any other team.
Because I don't care about any of you other bastards
such
teams.
a garbage mock draft. Go on.
Here's why I say this is what y'all forgot. And this is why I only went with this one, because I didn't tell you I read another article before that.
Okay. It was a tight end,
articles. It was not a tight end. But Sean Payton, for some reason that is yet to have been explained,
or anyone cares,
is still employed.
It's wow.
Go on.
Anyway, bastards. Wow. He has a love interest in anybody, period, from Ohio State.
That's weird.
Anybody from Ohio State.
Sure.
With Ted Ginn, Kurt Coleman, the linebacker we just picked up, also Von Bell, Marcus Lattimore. Not Marcus Lattimore.
Marshawn Lattimore.
Marshawn Lattimore. Not Marshawn Lattimore. I'm talking Michael Thomas. Sorry. Also from Ohio State.
Anybody else? Any other?
But all of these players he goes for. So this is why I feel he's going to roll the dice again and go Ohio State with Sam Hubbard. Sam Hubbard, at least play style, his hands are great. His size is great. What he does is phenomenal. I just feel that's who they're going to go with. And I say that off of watching film from him today. So that is exactly why I think they're also going to stick to trend.
You're saying all this based on what this dude wrote down. In
two guys. There's two guys. There's a
4-line article.
And for that, I will post it on the Facebook page for the CPA 2017 so you can see that. There you go. So, suck it, bastards.
Okay, Neil, who did you have them pick? I'm sorry, Vita Vea. That's right. So we're on to 28. The Pittsburgh Steelers, kind of thin on a list to pick on. So I think they get Rashaan Evans, linebacker out of Alabama, and I'm sure by the time he's going to get like 1,000 tackles a season just because they're going to have a motored, high motored linebacker. What?
You just kept saying motor
linebacker.
Motor bitch.
Well, I like that pick just strictly from the fact that you pair him up with T.J. Watt.
Yes.
You have a tear in the middle of that.
If you're a Cowboy fan, you got to really regret the fact that you didn't pick up T.J. Watt and you picked up Taco Charlton.
Taco!
And if you're the Packers, you got to really hurt or hate yourself because you traded back to
Have the Steelers lost anybody this offseason? Any trades or any people they let go?
Well, they need to sign their running back, so
yeah, he won't report.
I mean, Shazier.
Oh yeah. So I think that this is a really good pairing.
Yeah.
29 Jacksonville Jaguars. You got a young, hungry defense. You're basically the Legion of Boom 2.0. I think you pick somebody that you can pair that's just as aggressive as Jalen Ramsey. I say Jair Alexander, cornerback out of Louisville. I like this guy a lot. Where he's placed, I think he's a go-getter at linebacker. Hits hard.
I'm saying it's really the only weakness they got left on that defense.
Sure.
They needed somebody to pair up with Jalen Ramsey.
The Jacksonville Jaguars are such a scary team.
Yeah.
At first, I literally had the idea that they would give up next year's one to go get a quarterback, but I think they're fine the way they play now as far as needing a quarterback because their run game is so strong. Maybe offensive lineman, but yeah. So, number 30, the Minnesota Vikings. I think they go offensive tackle, try to protect their investment. Colton Miller out of UCLA.
So, because I don't really believe Minnesota's thinking long-term with one Kirk Cousins. I think they're thinking short-term, 3 years. This is where I threw the gamble and said, here's a great spot for Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
He can actually, they probably can talk him into playing a little wide receiver, develop him as a quarterback in 3 years when Kirk Cousins goes and signs for $45 million somewhere. They've got a quarterback that can step in place. Plus, they have no backup quarterback.
I like that idea. I feel like the Vikings would be a team that would put together packages that would be Wildcat-esque, where you would put Lamar Jackson out there on the outside, line him up as a screen, fake screens, or double pat. You could do things like that with them because they're a team that understands how to use a trick play and when to use the trick play. So I think that's a very sexy pick for them.
I actually do kind of like that pick, but I don't think they'll have him sit there and wait for 3 years. But that's just me.
You'd be like T-Mobile. Tyrod Taylor sat for... I thought the guy was out of the league.
Number 31, the New York...
Rodgers sat 3 years, man.
That's another great example.
I don't think that'll ever happen. When you draft a quarterback in the first round, you're not going to have him sit for 3 years anymore.
Aaron Rodgers sat 3 years.
It's not going to happen.
But it's Aaron Rodgers, though, man.
You guys are discussing.
It depends what team
you want to win.
31 with the New England Patriots. I think they go with their quarterback right here. I think they like Mason Rudolph. I think they grab him out of OSU. Got a cannon arm. I think that's a guy that you can sit for 3 years.
Oh, what's that? You said something about 3 years?
So,
You bastard.
So I got New England going one of two ways. They're either going to get another offensive lineman, or I think they'll go with a defensive tackle. They need help in the defense as well.
Yeah.
Daron Payne, I think, is the way they'll go. But they could go get another offensive lineman.
I think they love Taven Bryant there, personally.
I just want to point out that the 31st spot is like the most shameful spot, draft pick ever.
Really, you know what I'm saying? And Falcons last year,
it's the worst.
God,
because everybody knows. Yeah, exactly.
Everybody knows how you got there, you bitch. Okay,
but real quick, I think they go. I think they go quarterback. Lamar Jackson, Mason Rudolph. If either of them are not available. Offensive line position, offensive tackle.
These have holes everywhere. Wide receiver, I think maybe Cortland Sutton. I can see that.
If Malik is, you think Malik? Let's say the Patriots pick Malik, are we shocked that the Patriots pick Malik Jackson?
I would not, man.
Or Malik Jefferson, sorry.
But again, as I said earlier, they don't operate with what normal draft boards think. They like.
I'm
only
basing this off of Malcolm Brown from 2014.
But Malcolm Brown should have been picked maybe a few spots ahead of where he was taken. Malcolm Brown was really good. He still is really good.
I don't think Malik Jefferson is first round quality, but I think the Patriots don't give a shit.
I agree. So number 32, Philadelphia Eagles. The one hole they have is having a running back for the future. I think Darius Geis, running back out of LSU, he's their guy.
Who's the starting quarterback next year?
Carson Wentz.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same when you
I don't know. I mean, because they've got the kid they picked up from Miami.
This is his last year. That's why.
The Wisconsin running back they grabbed in outside the draft, the one that scored all the touchdowns, and all of a sudden his name eludes me.
Mm-hmm.
The one that scored all the touchdowns.
Yeah, Corey Clement. There we go.
Corey Clement.
Yeah, he was our headache in Wisconsin. Now Philadelphia's got him. So I don't know if they go running back. If they do, I originally thought Geitz, and then I thought, I think they're going to wait for Nick Chubb, second, third round, grab him, maybe go offensive tackle,
I could see that. Somebody who can keep Wentz up.
I'm sorry,
offensive lineman. Maybe Will Hernandez right there. That'd be a good
if
pick.
He slips, yeah.
Sure, I can agree with that. Well, I mean that's our mock without any trades. Just kind of how I feel like the draft goes a little bit, but of course draft day comes and happens and never really ends up that way, right?
Yeah.
So this is just our best guess.
So to wrap up, bless you.
I am blessed.
Bless you. To wrap up that draft segment, my question to each one of you individually: what round in the draft are you going to stop watching and lose all interest in the draft?
I stop about the middle of the 5th, 6th round is kind of where I just lose it.
All right.
Yeah. See, I really after the
But I enjoy it on Saturday. It's like
after the 3rd round, I'll follow on my phone. That's about as far as I'll go.
Yeah.
It's just
Zeech?
I'll definitely pick. So if we're talking about the 1st round, probably picks between 8 and 19. I won't really give a shit about.
Okay. Valid. Being the Saints don't have a 2nd round pick, kind of after the 1st round, I'm checking out.
Now, I'll be honest with you. I know when exactly I'm checking out. About 10:15. 10:15 p.m. Here's why. The Avengers. 10:30. Going to see it with your boy. 1AT.
Chill.
Nerd up.
We out here. We are out here.
We out.
Oh, man. Hey, Juan, just got to say thank you for having us. One small thing I want to say is that Neil and I over here will be working on our own podcast soon. We'll give out more information, but thank you for giving us a forum over here, man.
Of course.
I had fun getting back on this and doing it again.
It was fun.
It was
great.
Dude.
It's glad having all y'all here.
Thank you.
Really
thank
is.
you.
And like I say, man, this is kind of a family we have here, a podcast going. We will more than glad to literally hype each other up, guys.
Absolutely,
this is what we have. We're a family here.
Mm-hmm.
Since the very beginning of this, we wouldn't have this CPA without all of you. All of y'all contributed to this. So much love to everything y'all have going on. Like I said, this is TheCPA. I am your host, Juan T. Stay tuned. We're going to take a break until the season starts. But we're going to end this thing with Masego playing us out. Y'all have a funky, fresh week.
I need you, I need you, I need you. I need to make you see what you mean to me. Until